Hey guys, I wanted to film a short video of me doing my first PSA submission. I actually have roughly about 62 cards being sent in. I wanted to show you guys the cards that I'm going to be having sent in, and then essentially the value of each card, what it's going to be in a PSA 10, PSA 9, going all the way down to ungraded. And yeah, so as you can see, I have the cards here. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'm also planning to do a PSA for dummies, submission for dummies video in the future. Because although this process is pretty simple and straightforward when you really look into it, it is a little overwhelming at first. Also, parting with hundreds to thousands of dollars to for some people even tens of thousands of dollars worth of cards, it can definitely be a really terrifying thing. But yeah, let's get into it. So the first card, I have 2 copies of this May 2005 Nintendo World Pichu. So something about this card is it's a pretty rare card. There aren't a lot of it. This is actually from the Nintendo World store, which used to be like New York's Pokemon Center. My brother and I, as kids, went to a few different tournaments and events they had there. And we actually have these 2 copies of this card. There's also another card in here, a Pokemon Center card, that I'm going to be sent and be grading that we also got from these events. But as you'll see with this card, there just aren't a lot of copies of it, and there aren't a lot of sold listings. So it's a pretty unique card from my childhood. I actually don't even know what I'm going to do with it after I get it graded, but it is a card I want to get graded. So next is the 2003 EX Dragon Latias EX. This is also, a lot of these cards that I'm having sent in are from my childhood. I'll show the backs of these cards to you guys too, for anyone who's kind of curious on the condition. As you can see, there's a little bit of lightning. I'm going to run through these a little bit quickly, because if I don't, the video is going to take forever, and my editor is going to murder me. And the next card would be the 2002 Pokemon Expedition Venusaur card. It is a really sick card. It's a reverse holo, which means the hollowing's on the outside. It's in fairly good condition. It's a pretty nice card that, again, also from my childhood. So the following card is the Alolan Executor EX. This is from Surging Sparks. I actually pulled this card not too long ago when I first started getting back in Pokemon. I think I probably pulled it, I want to say it was November. My buddy and I were talking about Pokemon nonstop, and I went out and bought a Surging Sparks booster bundle, the 6-pack bundle. And I pulled this card. And this guy's been shooting up in value lately. It is a really sick card. I'd actually probably keep this for my own personal collection. Really hoping it comes back at 10. I just think it's just such an awesome art. So then following that, I have 2 copies of the Battle Partners Wailord Art Rare. I'm actually getting one of these graded for my buddy Julian. But then at the same time, I'm a big fan of this card. It's a really goofy looking card. I think they're actually paying homage to Laboon from One Piece. One of the interesting things too about Japanese cards is they tend to grade significantly better. So I'm excited to get these back and see how they do. But yeah, it's just a really funny card. And then I'm excited for Battle Partners when it comes out in March. So it'll be fun to see. And then following is the Pikachu Trainer Gallery from Lost Origin. This card's actually been shooting up like crazy lately. It is a really sick card. I pulled this just from a random box I got 2 weeks ago from a convention I went to. I've been ripping boxes nonstop. And then following that is the 2003 Pokemon Skyreach Eevee card. This is again another card from my childhood when we were going through the collection that my brother and I had. We do have 2 of these I wanted to get graded. Everyone loves Eevee. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like Eevee too, but probably not in the same way everyone else does. But it is a cool card nonetheless. So next up is the Flareon. I actually pulled this card really recently in one of the vintage packs I bought when I went to my first card convention from the Jungle Pack. It's not first edition, but it is a really sick card. It also is a non-holo. I want to get it graded because there's a lot of love for Flareon. Be fully transparent with you guys. A lot of these cards I probably am going to sell. A few of them I'm planning to keep for myself. I tend to like a lot of the older cards. For example, the first edition Blastoise. It's arguably my favorite card. I'm too scared to get it graded for the moment, so I'm gonna wait to see how my first submission goes before I get that bad boy graded. And next is Bulbasaur from Stellar Crown, the illustration rare. It's actually a really sick card. I actually picked this up as a single from a local card store from me. It was in pretty good condition, so I want to get it graded. Yeah, so this is a card I am kind of just looking to flip, but I do like Bulbasaur. I actually have a first edition Bulbasaur in here, you'll see later. Okay, and then the next card is another card from my childhood. This is also from Pokemon Expeditions. This is the non-holo Charizard. It's a pretty sick card. It's you see the e-reader series. It's in pretty solid condition. There's a little bit of whitening on 3 of the corners. A lot of these cards from when we were kids, a lot of them we just played with or threw around. As children do, man. We weren't expecting that this was gonna happen to them, but here we are. Okay, and then next, I actually have a few Yu-Gi-Oh cards I'm looking to get graded as well. And these are all from my personal childhood collection as well. I was a big fan of Yu-Gi-Oh too as a kid. The first one being the Dark Paladin from the limited edition. This card, I genuinely couldn't tell you. It says it comes from the Dark Paladin Dual Master Guide. I could not tell you how I got this card. I remember being in love with this card and people offering to buy it for me and trade me for it, but I always thought this card was just such a sick card. It just is so cool looking. Even to this day, I still think it's a really unique and cool looking card. I know there's a few versions of the Dark Paladin. It's in pretty good shape. Like, there's a little bit of whitening. Yu-Gi-Oh cards are a little bit sturdier than Pokemon cards too. Yeah, so we'll see how those do. I don't know if I'll sell the Yu-Gi-Oh cards. And then next is the first edition Thousand Dragon card from the Metal Raiders box. This is a really cool card. Again, another card from my childhood that I loved. I was a huge Yu-Gi-Oh fan growing up. I had literally bins of Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Even went to a few Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments. As you can see, this card has seen better days. I was terrible, but super fun game to play. And if anyone ever played the PlayStation game that made you want to break things because it was genuinely too difficult and not meant for children, hey man, been there. And then next is the one in the card that everyone knows, that needs no introduction, the Dark Magician. And then this is from the Yugi starter deck, the Dark Magician. Some of the stuff, I genuinely don't remember it. When I was doing research on the cards, I found it online. Looks like there's a hair in there, or an eyelash. This card's in pretty solid condition too. A lot of these cards, we would just sleeve them and then we played with them. We would play with them in tournaments or with friends, but we were pretty careful. Some cards we have stickers on and we clearly used as pretend batarangs or something. And then next is actually one of my favorite cards, is the Karibo. Wing Karibo is even one of more of my favorite cards. And this is also from the Metal Raiders box. It's not a first edition Karibo, but it's still a really sick card. Okay, and then the next card is, which I have 2 copies of, is the Charizard Trainer Gallery from Lost Origin. These are also cards I pulled in the recent packs that I've been buying and just mass spam opening. Don't do that if you don't want to lose money. I have kind of accepted I just have a problem and I like shiny cardboard. So here we are. And a lot of these I'm now getting graded. And then the next card is the Poliwrath, which I pulled from the heavy base set pack I got from this card show I recently went to. It's my second ever card show. I spent $600 on the pack, so I am kind of hoping he comes back at 10. Probably will sell this card. I don't have a huge draw to it in general. Although I do really like the old school Poliwrath art, I was just kind of really wanting to rip a base set pack. Following that is the Caterpie full art from 151. I might keep this card for myself. I'm a huge fan of the art. I think it's just a really sick card in general. I think it's actually a little underrated from the 151 set. I actually think it's one of the nicer cards. It's in pretty good condition. I did sleeve it up immediately. Most of these cards were pulled or from childhood collection. But yeah. And following that is the first edition War Turtle from my childhood collection. So a lot of these cards are still in decent condition. However, I could not tell you how many times we either threw them at each other or just we weren't treating them as collectors, we were treating them as children. It's in pretty solid shape. First edition War Turtle. Yeah. Next is the first edition Bulbasaur, another card from my childhood collection. Really sweet card. In pretty solid shape. As you can see, it's a little bit of whitening, but still, pretty cool card. And then following that is the Dragonite EX. Again, another card from my childhood collection. It's from the EX Dragon series. He's a really sick card also. In pretty good condition, minor whitening on the top. Then the first edition Machamp from when I was a child. Also in pretty decent condition. As you see, a little bit of whitening. This card's definitely not going to get a 10, but still, really cool card. And then this card I actually pulled from this weekend from the card show. One of the boxes I bought, it's the Fuecoco Full Art from Paldea Evolved. There's actually a printer line going through it. It's kind of hard to see, but it's just a really cool card. Don't want to get it graded. Might actually keep this card for myself. I'm a huge fan of Fuecoco. I think he's really funny. Although, I'm not a big fan of his evolutions. I do like the baby form a lot. And then following that is the Poliwhirl Full Art from 151. This is another card. I actually pulled this from the Blooming Waters box with the Caterpie and a Charizard. I got really lucky in those 12 packs. Yeah, it's another card that I think is really cool. Compliment the Poliwrath. Pretty solid shape. See how it does. And then there's a Pikachu I pulled from the Fossil pack from my first card show. Another card that's in pretty solid condition. It was immediately sleeved. Yeah, see how it does. Just a cool card. A lot of people like the old school Pikachu. I'm a big fan of him too. He does look really goofy. Okay, and this was a card I pulled from a random Twilight Masquerade pack. It's a full art Frostlass. I actually think this card's kind of underrated. I think it's one of those cards where the art is like really unique. I do like that it has a little bit of the darker touch to it. This was another card that I immediately sleeved. I'm trying to keep these cards in good condition. And then this is another card from my childhood collection, the Dark Dragonite from the Team Rocket Return series. This is a really sick card, actually. This card I'm hoping comes back at 10 and I keep for myself. This is like, how fucking cool does Dragonite look, bro? How often do you even, like, I feel like they don't do Dragonite justice anymore. I feel like he had so many sick cards growing up. Okay, and then this was a Squirtle I pulled from the base set pack, where I got the holographic Poliwrath. It's in pretty good condition. I mean, who doesn't love the starters? So figured you should get it graded. Then following that is the Dragonite Warner Brothers promo, Kid Warner Brothers promo card. I think this is from the first movie. I couldn't tell you. I don't remember how I got this card. It's definitely from when I was a kid. I still have vivid memories of seeing. As you can see, it is seen better days, for sure. But hey, just a really cool card. I was like, why not? Big fan of Dragonite. So, and then this is the, I believe, the Charmander that's from EX Dragon that complements the Charizard. This is also from when I was a kid. This is a really sick card. I saw one at a card show recently. Yeah. Pretty unique card. You don't come by them too often. It's in actually really good condition. This guy comes back at 10. That'd be insane. I might keep this card for myself as well. And then this is the Squirtle from Pokemon Expedition. This is a reverse holo, as you can see. Holo's on the outside. This card, again, another card from my childhood collection. In pretty good condition. I don't think it'll come back at 10, but you never know. I am very hopeful. May keep it for myself, too. Okay, and then following that is from the same collection from Pokemon Expedition, is the Mew reverse holo. I was actually at my local card store where I've been getting some of my vintage packs, and they had this bad boy up for sale, too. But this one is from my childhood collection. We do have another copy. Man, this thing's back has seen better days. We do have another copy, but I believe it's just a normal card. It's not even a reverse holo. And then another really cool card that you don't see too often is the Ampharos EX. This is from, I think it's like EX Dragon set series. Again, another card from my childhood. It's in really good condition. So if this bad boy would come back at 10, that's nuts. I'd probably keep this card for myself as well. It's just, and I didn't even notice that. There's a swirl right there. That's pretty tough. Following is the Charmander that I pulled from the base 2 pack. We can actually get him graded. I'm a little annoyed. I don't know where my first edition Charmander went. I am really praying that I find him, because I would really like to get him graded. Then next is the Dark Celebi from Hidden Legends. I actually got this from a heavy pack from the show I recently went to. I think I paid $4.50 if I remember right. I believe the hit from this is a Ninetales. Came with a Dark Celebi and then this holographic pincer. It's actually a really cool card, the pincer, because you can see like in the back of it, the holographic has like the varying energies. It's really sick. I may keep this card for myself, too. It's actually a card I really like. I'm hoping these guys both come back as 10s. They're in really great condition. They were immediately sleeved after opened. This was another card I recently pulled in one of the boxes. It's also been shooting up in popularity recently. It's the Gloom Full Art from Obsidian Flame. I also think Obsidian Flame in general, I think those boxes are going to shoot up in value really soon. There's some really cool cards in those boxes, and I think people kind of sleep on them, this being one of those cards. So this is a card my brother pulled from a different Obsidian Flames pack. So this is his card that I'm getting graded for him. It's a Lechonk Full Art. Again, it's one of those cards that I think is like kind of underrated. The art's just really cool, and it's another reason why I actually really like Obsidian Flames. Go to another card show this weekend. I may try to pick up a box or two. So this card is the Pokemon Center promo from New York. We actually have 4 copies of this. We're getting 2 sent for graded. This is a card my brother and I have from being kids. I don't think it'll come back at 10 because it was kind of just, I mean, it may, who knows? But it is just one of those cards from our childhood, similar to the Pichu's. Pichu's a little more rare, I actually found out, but it is still just a really cool card. I may just keep it from sentimental value. But yeah, you don't see cards like this often at all, actually. So 2 more cards I want to get graded that I felt were pretty unique. And then this is a card I actually pulled on the drive home from the show when I was joking around with my brother and my friend Julian from Paldea Evolved. Is this full art Raichu that is like really popular and a really sick card. I'm praying that it being tossed around in the car didn't damage it. But yeah, it is a really cool card. A lot of the full arts lately I have a lot of appreciation for. Okay, and then this is Golem was actually one of my favorite Pokemon as a kid. This is another card from my childhood, the Golem EX from I believe this is also from the EX Dragon series. Some of the Dragonite and the Ampharos. It's a really sick card. It's in pretty solid condition, honestly. Yeah, and then this is the Jolteon trainer gallery from Brilliant Stars. Brilliant Stars getting a lot of popularity lately. I'm actually really not a big fan of a lot of the arts in that series. But yeah, everyone loves the evolutions, so I figured I should get this guy graded. And then I pulled this guy from one of my buddies. I actually met him at, like, for a second time at a card show. They go by the Booster Boys. He actually did me a pretty big solid and sold me the Temporal Forces boxes for a pretty good price. And I pulled this guy from it, the Gouging Fire, otherwise EX, otherwise known as Entei. Funny enough, if this comes back at 10, I may think of, like, selling it to him for, like, dirt cheap, just because they're really two cool guys, these Booster Boys guys. So this is another one of those cards why I think Obsidian Flames is, like, really slept on. Like this Samurai Duel inspired Scizor art. Like, dude, this is a sick card. But yeah, this is a really cool card. If you have not noticed by now, I'm a big fan of Obsidian Flame. Another full art from there is this Pidgey card, which reminds me of Duck Hunt, Route 1, but it's kind of like both. So really cool card. Another card I think that gets slept on. Telling you guys, buy Obsidian Flames. I think there's so many underrated cards. And then this is a really sweet card from my childhood. This is also from the EX Dragon series. It's the Rayquaza EX. This is such a sick card. This is like a grail card for a lot of people, and it's also probably a card I would keep for myself. It is in pretty solid condition. There's a little bit of whitening. PSA agent, please love me forever. This is actually one of my favorite cards. And then this is a Mischievous. My friend Julian actually really liked this card. It's a card my brother and I, again, have from our childhood. It's from the Neo Revelation series. Occasionally our mom would, like, randomly come home with, like, Japanese packs. And we'd always be like, yes, Pokemon. So this is one of those cards. So I want to get it graded. Yeah, it's a really cool card. You don't see them super frequently, but you see them from time to time. I do. My buddy prefers Japanese. I actually like this card in English more, but it's because I speak English. And then this is a full art I pulled from Surging Sparks, the Skarmory. This is an interesting card. I think Skarmory is actually one of those Pokemon that I think is really cool too. I don't know if there's a stain on the card. It looks like there is. I have to clean that before I submit this bad boy. That is definitely on the card. But yeah, so this is another cool card that I figured I should submit. And then here is the Charmeleon, the final one in the EX Dragon series, because I've shown you the Charmander and the Charizard, and here's the holographic Charmeleon. I actually think this card is really sick. I think it's better looking than the Charmander, maybe, but I think it's definitely better looking than the Charizard. Again, from my childhood collection, really sick card. So I was wrong. The Charizard from before and this Charizard is from Pokemon Expedition. But this is the reverse holo one. As the other one I have earlier is just a normal one. This one's not in as good condition in my opinion, but still really sick card that I want to get graded. And then this beautiful boy is one of those cards that many people love. I'm actually a little shocked at how popular this card has become. You don't see it very often. There's even a swirl. I didn't even know there's a swirl there. Holy crap. Wow, that is really cool. This is the Houndour from Pokemon Neo Discovery. This card I will probably keep for myself. It is a really cool card. It's in decent condition. Really minor whitening on both corners. We'll see how it does. I'm thinking it's probably going to come back around like a 9. But we'll see. I'm praying it comes back at 10. It probably won't. I may get it regraded if it doesn't. I'll just pray. Then I actually picked this up as a single from one of my local card stores. The Galarian Gallery Pikachu from Crown Zenith. It was 15 bucks. It is a really cool card. Who doesn't love Pikachu? I'm hoping this bad boy comes back at 10. And then this is the second single I picked up today from my local card store. It was a Squirtle from the 151 series. I got him for about 60, so I'm really hoping. He looked really good in the centering, seemed pretty on point, so I'm really hoping he comes back at 10. I know these cards are rough on the grading. And then this is the last card I picked up today from my local card store. This was $8. It was the Melodic. It's from the Silver Tempest series. It's a trainer gallery. It's a really cool card. I may actually give this to a buddy. He's one of my friends who I used to play League with. This guy Cupid, he's a big fan of this card. Figured for $8, I was like, yeah, I'll definitely get this bad boy graded, because I was in the process of setting up a bunch of cards to get graded. And then I don't know if some of you guys know, but there is a non-holo version of the base Charizard. It's from the Pokemon Legendary. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a little weird when you first see it and it's not holo compared to like the normal Charizards you see. It's in pretty good condition. We'll see how it does. It's a pretty unique card. Again, another card from my childhood. Okay, we're back to Obsidian Flame. Another card from there that I think is underrated is the Full Art Houndor. Seriously, dude, just buy Obsidian Flame. Just do it. Trust me. Yeah, this card's in pretty good condition. I want to get it graded. I used to like Houndor a lot as a kid. I figured it'd be kind of funny since I'm including the other Houndor in there too. I don't know if this is a hot take, but I actually think Obsidian Flame and Paldea Evolved have nicer cards than like Fusion Strike, Evolving Skies, Lost Origin, a lot of those like really popular sets. I actually think some of these full arts are just absurd and like really awesome. This Marrow is really cool. I don't know if you can see it here. There's it's cut a little funny from the printers. Probably won't come back at 10. But yeah, it's a really cool card. Pulled this one too. And then the last card I got from Vivid Voltage. It's this Togekiss Rainbow VMAX. It's just a really cool looking card. Figured why not get it graded. So hey, if you guys made it to the end of the video, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Also, originally I was going to do a giveaway on the Chinese Journey Together box. However, the audio got really scuffed on that video, so I figured, fingers crossed with the audio on this video, I would do a Prismatic Evolutions ETB giveaway. Yeah, so all you have to do is like, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, and then a week from whenever this video launches, I will pick a viewer to send the ETB to. Also, if you are out of the US and you're interested in the giveaway, shipping sometimes can be incredibly expensive. So I will send you the USD value of the box so you can buy it in your local area. And I will cover that in the shipping from your local area. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, follow me on Instagram. My editor will plug it here. Yeah, I also have my own website that's selling Pokemon product. I'm still kind of in the process of figuring that out. So I don't really have much up there right now. Thank you guys so much and have a wonderful evening.